Hey, what's up? It's Patrick. It's Rose via Fire, and I pray this message reaches who it needs to reach. So let's talk about are you an effective builder? And what do I mean by this, right? Just because you're building something does not mean that it's effective. You know, just because you're building a brand or a business does not mean that it's effective. Are you are you an effective builder, bro? You know what I'm saying? Just because you setting yourself up to win does not mean that you are doing it effectively, bruh. You gotta be effective in what you're doing. You gotta be an effective builder. Like, you gotta know that, because you got a lot of people out there that might be building stuff, but the stuff they building is not effective. It's not gonna really make a change. It's not really, it don't really have the impact that it's supposed to. You got to be an effective builder, bro. If you have a business, bro, that you're working on, you can't just because you're working on something doesn't mean that it's working. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're working on something doesn't mean that it's working. You gotta be an effective builder. You gotta build effectively, bro. And I'm gonna share some tips on how to build more effectively, bro. Um, like you need anointing, bro. If you're building like something for God, bro, and you are building a business for God, bro, you need God's anointing, bro. Without anointing, bro, you could be one of those people who just building stuff that's not effective. You need God's anointing for the stuff you build to be effective, bro. So that's something that you gotta figure out how to, you know what I'm saying, how to get God's anointing to be over whatever you are building for God. If you don't have God's anointing over what you're building, it's not really you are not an effective builder. You are just building, but it's not gonna be effective. And this is why people be frustrated when they work on something for a long time and they don't see nothing happening. Because you're not building effectively, bruh. You just some of these people they don't even learn from their L's, bruh. That's another one. If you don't learn from your L's, how are you an effective builder? It's not the stuff you're building is not effective because you're not even learning from your L's, bro. You're not even learning from your losses. So if you take losses and you take L's, but you're not learning from them and you just keep going, you're not doing things effectively, bro. You is not an effective builder. It's not gonna be effective, bro. You know what I'm saying? It is not gonna be effective because you're not learning from your L's. You take an L here and you repeat the same L over and over. Yes, you're working hard. You working hard, but guess what? You working hard repeating the same L. How is you working hard repeating the same L? When are you gonna learn from that L? You got people out there who building something, they could be building a brand or a business or something, and they are working so hard, repeating the same L year after year after year. How are you repeating the same L year after year after year? It just means that you is not an effective builder, bro. The stuff you're building is not effective because you are unable to learn from your L's. You got to be able to learn from your L's, bro. You have to. That's another thing. First of all, you need God's anointing. Second, you need to be able to learn from your L's, because if you cannot learn from your L's, you're just going to keep repeating the same L over and over and over and over. And think of it like a ship like on the ocean or something is moving forward. Well, if you not learning from the L, the ship is just going to be stuck in the same place. This is not going to be moving forward. You're just going to move forward a little bit and go right back to where it came from. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same stuff. You're going to just be going in loops, bruh. And some people is not really effective builders. They are just going in loops. They just going in circles. They not really effective builders for real. You could just look at somebody and be like, okay, that's not an effective builder. Because they not learning stuff. They not learning from the L's. They don't have God's anointing over whatever they trying to do for God. So you could just tell, man, that's not an effective builder. They not learning. They not really taking things higher. They not leveling up. That's another one. If you're not leveling up in how you build, you is not an effective builder. You gotta level up, bruh. You gotta keep leveling up. You gotta keep going higher. If you're not going higher and leveling up in how you build, bro, you is not an effective builder. Like, you just gonna be stuck. You're gonna be stuck. You're gonna miss out on the people you're supposed to reach. And that's pretty much gonna be it, bruh. You just gonna be stuck. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta level up. What's another thing? Just because you're building something does not mean that it's effective. And do not be deceived by people talking about, oh, you know, I'm building my own business, I'm building my own brand and this and that. Just because you're building doesn't mean it's effective. There's two types of builders. There's effective builders and there's non-effective builders. You might be investing and believing in somebody. Let me say this out loud, bro. Let me say this for real, bro. You might be investing and supporting somebody who is an ineffective builder. They not effective at all, bro. The stuff they building is not effective. So by you believing in them and supporting it, you're just going to support something that's stuck. Okay? You're supporting something that's stuck because they are not effective builders. You guys to have the gift of being an effective builder, bro. The stuff you're building got to have some type of impact. It got to have some type of, like, it got to be able to go higher and level up. Like, if you're investing and supporting somebody who is not an effective builder, man, this stuff ain't going to go nowhere, bro. It's going nowhere. It's going nowhere. Until they learn how to be an effective builder, it's not going to go nowhere. Trust me. Don't eat, bruh. Until they learn how to become an effective builder, it's not going nowhere. So, like, there's two types of builders, the effective builder, and then what's the other word? Ineffective, whatever you want to call it, bruh. But let's move on, though. Another thing is, you need to do things in order. You need to have order, bro. If you don't have order in the things that you do, that could just make you're not effective, bro. You gotta have order. You gotta do things in order, bro. You gotta do things in order according to God, bro. If you don't have no order, bro, if you're doing all things all disorganized, out of order, bro, you is not an effective builder. And let me tell you something about a person who's effective. An effective builder is gonna have anointing. An effective builder is gonna learn from the L's. An effective builder is gonna do things in order. An effective builder is gonna go higher and keep leveling up. That's an effective builder. You know what I'm saying? They gonna keep going higher. They gonna really, like, all the things that I named, they gonna do. They gonna have the anointing. You know, let's say this builder is building for God. Not building for the world, though. Building for God. They gonna have the anointing. They gonna be able to level up. They gonna do things in order. What's the other one? They gonna learn from the L's. And things like that. That's gonna be an effective builder. Now, the other type of builder that's not effective, the ineffective one, is not gonna do all those things. So it's like the opposite. They're not gonna have all those things. They're not gonna have no anointing. They're not gonna learn from the L's. They're not gonna do things in order. They're not gonna go higher. That's how you know, bruh. So anytime you look at people saying they building stuff, ask yourself, bro, what type of builder is these people, bro? Is these people effective builders or ineffective builders? And if they are ineffective builders, their stuff they doing has no effect, no impact, man, don't even waste your time, bro. Don't even waste your time, because that's up to them if they want to change. Some of them don't want to change. Like, if they really don't want to change, bro, if you tell them, bro, hey, the stuff you're building is not effective, and they still debate with you and they don't want to listen, hey, that's up to them, bro. You got to leave them alone, bro. Let them keep believing that they're going to the top. Let them keep believing, bro, because they don't want to listen. And you know what they say. When somebody don't want to listen, bro, you let them go. You know what I'm saying? Because there's nothing you could do. if somebody don't want to listen, there's nothing you could do. You know what I'm saying? So let me tell you something. You gotta be an effective builder. And I gave you like 4 tips on how to be an effective builder. And you're gonna be able to see, you're gonna be able to look at other people who say they building stuff, whether it be a business, a brand, a talent, whatever they working on, bro. It don't matter what it is. Are they an effective builder? And you're gonna be able to see it for yourself. All you gotta do is just look at those 4 things, you know. And there's other things too, but you know, those are the 4 that I could think of right now. You look at those 4 things, bro, it's gonna tell you what you need to know. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to encourage y'all, man, to become effective builders for God, bro. Become an effective builder. Build something that has some type of impact, bro. Don't just be building stuff that has no impact, that's not effective. You know what I'm saying? Build something that really has some type of impact. And you know, I just shared the information, but that's just basically all I wanted to say, man. Peace.